So I have played every single Hoyoverse game. I played Honkai Impact, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and now I've played Zenless and Zero. I always played these games on release because they usually intrigue me quite a lot, but the one I didn't was Zenless and Zero. And the main reason I did not play this game on launch, and I did say this in my other video, is that the game did not draw me. It didn't sell me on the game. The trailers and the promotional material didn't sell me. The only thing that looked good was the graphics. Not the graphics, the animations, that was it. But Hoyoverse always does quite a good job with their animations, so I can't really fault them for that. But the characters didn't look interesting to me, and when I saw people first playing it, it really didn't tickle my fancy. But now's a different story, and like I said in the last video, when I only played for a few hours, today I have played it completely. I'm caught up to the most latest update, and we're now going into a new update with like Trigger and a Soldier Zero. So I want to give my thoughts on this game, from the good to the bad, and to the overall my thoughts on the game. So let's start with the good. So one of the things this game does really well, I think, is its actual world design, because the world design in this game isn't like Honkai Star Rail, isn't like Genshin Impact, and it isn't like Honkai Impact. This world design isn't like tremendously big, so it isn't like a full open world like Genshin is, and it isn't like a semi-open world like Star Rail is. It's not an open world game, which is great because it really mixes with the formula of it, because I think everybody now that plays gacha games is sick of open world gacha games because there is so much to do, and sometimes it just gets really repetitive, and some of the worlds that these games create are really bland and boring. But ZZZ, what it does, it explains and it goes into the lore of the world through its story, and we're going to get to the story in a minute. But I think that is a great way to sell you on the world itself without going to give you like mini tasks to do, go fully exploring worlds with like wings and stuff, which I think is great, and it's great for this style of the game, and it's a nice change of pace to the basic open world formula that most gacha games are trying to do nowadays. Now the story. The story, I think, really picks up at Chapter 2. Chapter 1 and the prologue wasn't good, in my opinion. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't great. I think it builds up and it adds some really key elements to the story, like the introduction of Fairy. But other than that, I wasn't the biggest fan of Chapter 1 and the prologue. I think Chapter 2 with Yuen and, is it Kuichi? I don't know the girl's name. But that build up and those introductions to those characters and the build up from there, it just kept getting better and better, and I love that. It only took to Chapter 1 of 1.0, Chapter 2 of 1.0 to get us to that good part of the story, and it's great because usually in the Hoyoverse games, Honkai Star Rail, is that after the first arc, the rest of it is kind of all over the place. This game was able to attain its consistency through Chapter 2 onwards. And that is great. I think that is a great way to do it, because as everyone right now is complaining about Hoyoverse's bad writing in Star Rail, I have nothing bad to say about the writing after Chapter 2 from ZZZ, because I think Chapter 1 and the prologue wasn't done well. I think it was okay for starting stuff, but it really followed that basic Hoyo formula with basically giving you tutorials in the damn missions with the story, and I don't like that. I've never liked that formula with these games. Yes, it's a common trope in gaming, but I've never been the biggest fan of it. But I think that's great. I think it's great that the story keeps getting better and better throughout the whole thing, and I love that. And one of the things I want to add on to this is the music. The music in this game is different from Star Rail and Genshin. It's very modern type of music, which you never usually hear in a Hoyoverse game. And what I mean by like modern music is that this game has a different genres attached to it. So when you go to like the Sons of Chaos area and the Outer Ring, you hear a different style of music. If you go to like the city, you hear more of a modern melodic style of music, which is a really nice touch. Didn't have to do that because Hoyoverse has always been good in their music. It's one thing I can say about the consistency of Hoyoverse games. Their music is always really good. But I like how they have different musics for different types of areas, because this game is quite modern compared to like the fantasy genres of the other game. Don't get me wrong, this game still has fantasy elements in it, but this game has that modern touch to it, which I like. I like that. Another thing I want to talk about is the gameplay. The gameplay in this game It's probably my favourite of the Hoyoverse games, I will be honest, because it is so good. It isn't complex, it isn't over the top. It's very just hack and slash-ish, and that's great, because hack and slash type of games are one of my favourite types of games, because if you guys don't know, Devil May Cry 3 is one of my favourite games of all time, and it is one of the best action games of all time. Don't get me wrong, this game is nowhere near that game's level, but this game has added the elements to just make it simplistic. They make it super confusing, like some people do in Star Rail, some people do in Genshin. You just have 3 characters on a team, 2 are sub DPS, and 1 you can throw on, which is great. I love that formula, because they tried to do something different and it's clicked for once. Because it's basically a sped up, better version of the Genshin's gameplay, which is good. I like that. But I do have my concerns with it, which we'll get into later on in the video. Gameplay and the changes they added to the gameplay was amazing. Because one thing I did forget to mention is that I think it was when Mayubi came out, they changed the game completely, and that's what brought me back. They changed the game and they added so much stuff and improved on so much stuff, and the gameplay was one of them, and I love it. Allowing each characters to have an ultimate attack instead of just having one per gameplay encounter was such a nice touch. Because that was one of my main gripes with the game before Mayubi came out, is when you have 3 characters on the team, but only one of them can use an ultimate, which is kind of stupid. I never liked that. But I like that new touch now, I love it. Now, moving on to the characters, because this is where usually is the biggest draw for Hoyoverse games. I think the characters here, I think they are really damn good. I think they're written well, and I think they're designed well, because if you guys haven't noticed the pattern, this is the first game Hoyoverse has made since Hungry Impact that has original designs in it, and not just reskinned and reused assets. And I think that is such a damn good thing. Because I complained about in one of my Star Rail videos, is that the reused designs from Hungry Impact and Star Rail is showing so much now in Star Rail. It's hard to just take away the similarities. There is no similarities in ZZZ. Yes, don't get me wrong, you can add oh yeah, Nicole's kind of looks like this character, yada yada yada. But there is no reused assets, because all of them had this modern or stylized type of clothing and have a unique design to match with the gameplay, which I love. I love that design. For example, I think the only designed character that looks quite similar to Genshin and Honkai Star Rail is Evelyn. She reminds me a lot of Yelan and Kafka, but her design, they've done quite a lot in her type of character. They've done quite a lot in the Hoyoverse games, so I'm not surprised there, and it doesn't really bother me that much. But yeah, I think they do such a damn good job with the characters, and I think the characters in this are probably the best written characters I've seen from Hoyoverse in a minute. I think my favourite 3 characters are Mayubi's on the list, Mayubi, Caesar, and probably Jane Doe. Those 3 are probably my favourite, but I do like Jayu as well, I think I'm saying her name right. But the character designs, I think they are masterful in this game, and I think they are probably my favourite. Don't get me wrong, some of them are not crazy like Honkai Star Rails are, but they are so well done, and I love how they have original designs for once, not just reused assets. Because don't get me wrong, I play Souls games and I've seen a lot of reused assets in those games, but you kind of forgive the reused assets because of how good the games are from the FromSoft company. But now that we talked about all the good for ZZZ, there's one more thing I want to mention, is that I think the main characters for this game is the best in Hoyoverse. I think they are. Wise and Belle are so damn interesting when it comes to the main characters, because they actually feel like main characters for once. And I said this when I talked about Wonder Woman 2.0, is that Rover and Wise and Belle now feel like main characters. They speak, they have dialogue, and they have importance to the story. When it comes to Genshin, when it comes to Star Rail, those 2 main characters, the Trailblazer and the Traveller, feel fucking pointless. Because for one, they're not good units half the time, well, other than the Star Rail, but for one, they are boring ass to play, and for 2, they barely have any memorable dialogue, and they barely fucking speak. In ZZZ, the main characters talk most of the fucking time. It's not that hard to fucking pay your voice actors to actually cover important and impactful lines that give the fucking player emotion, or let them resemble with the fucking main character for once. That's why I like Wise and Belle so much, is because, don't get me wrong, their story right now isn't crazy, because they keep their whole job as a proxy is to help other people out, which is great, because it also ties in with their story, with the whole academy exploding and God Hand taking their teacher and stuff, which is great. There is so much stuff they can do well, and I hope I don't fuck it up with these two characters. So yeah, that's all I've got to talk about for the good, CCC. Now I'm going to talk about the bad. When it comes to the bad in this game, the bad isn't bad, it mainly is just, it can be fixed and it can be done better. For one, I think the character building in this game is fucking absurd. Like, it's not difficult, it's just really fucking unnecessary for how long it takes. There, you have 3 characters on per team, plus a bang boo. So that's technically 4 things you have to level up. Don't get me wrong, the bang boos don't take long to level up. But when it comes to your characters, you have an engine, you have, 6 discs to level up and to farm if you don't get the right stats. And you've got talents to level up. And you've got another thing to level up when it comes to boss materials. And you have your character to level up. That's 5 things to level up. It takes I think it was like 6 weeks or so, somebody say it takes to build one ZZ character to max level, which is insane. That shouldn't take that long. There should be things in the game to make the farming easier for the players, because that is just way too long. Say you pull a new character and you have to wait 6 weeks to properly use them. That's a bit fucked. But that's it's a thing that they can probably make better in the future, but they have improved it. I remember when I played it back a few months ago, it was a fucking piss take to build characters. But now when it comes to characters now, because I haven't surpassed the level limit yet, it's kind of like, it's whatever, but I've heard and I've seen it takes fucking hours. Another thing I want to talk about is the TV system. Yes, before I get hate for this, they removed the TV system from all main story aspects of the game, which is, thank fuck. That generally saved this game for me, because that system ruined the game story for me. That's probably why I don't like Prologue 1 and Chapter 1, because the fucking TV systems in between the gameplay was a major issue. They removed it from on-story gameplay, but it's still in the game. I think that whole system needs to be removed completely, because I generally can't be asked to do commissions, I can't be asked to do side stuff, and I can't bother to even do certain events because that system's still in place, because it is so dreadful, that system, I can't bear it. So I hope that system eventually gets taken out of the game, because it is a tedious and unnecessary system to have in this type of game. And it makes the transition mini-game to gameplay worse. It makes it feel like a side fucking quest in a main mission. I don't like that. So just remove that system from the game completely. It is not necessary. Another thing that I have a personal gripe with is characters. Yes, I gave characters benefits earlier, but some characters in this game, for one, are forgettable, and for two, really don't add anything. The biggest one I can think of is Lycon. This dude, like, when in Chapter 3, when I encountered him, I generally did not care for his character. He had no, he generally had no importance, no, important things to say. He had nothing memorable to say for his own character. He just didn't feel like a 5-star character to me. He just felt like a side quest, like an NPC that also got fairy. That's my opinion, but there's so many of these characters feel like that in this game. For example, Ambi's a big one. I know a lot of people like Ambi, but she feels like a pointless character to me. So the only one I can say that's not really bad in the Cunning has is Nicole, because she does bring some importance to some story elements later on in the game. But Ambi, Lycon, Billy, there's so many characters in this game that just feel pointless and unnecessary to have in a main story. And I know they changed that. I know they did some stuff with Nicole later in the story during Chapter 5, which added to her character, which is great, I love that. But the other characters, I know Ambi's about to have a big story update in this new one, but it just feels like some of these characters are not supposed to feel like 5-star characters, and they just feel bad. And Lycon, I haven't played him because I really don't care for his character, but he just feels pointless to me. And that's one thing Genshin and Honkai both do. They both have kind of 5-star characters that feel pointless. The biggest example I can think of is that blind fox guy that was with Facial. Yes, he was a healer, but now he's blind. Who even remembers him now? Exactly. It's just, there's nothing really worth it to characters like that, and I think they just either need to be written well or just don't have them as 5-star characters. So yeah, I think that's the last thing I'm going to cover when it comes to the bad, because there isn't really much bad. It's just, there's one more thing, and I want this removed from every open world gacha game. The weekly boss limit. This system does not need to exist. I'll be 100%. This weekly boss system that these open world gacha games has do not need to exist. It kills the gameplay. For one, this game already puts you on a time limit, because you have 160 energy. Once you've used that energy, if you have no energy at all, you leave the game because you generally can't do some of those things you want to do, and you go play either the next day or the next week. The weekly boss limit also limits that, because for one it costs energy, and for two you only have 3 rotations on the boss. That is insane. Because for this game, yes, you only get 3 characters. That's like, you might be able to build 3 characters in 1 week, but I doubt that. I generally doubt that. Because most of the characters, they need like 2 boss material things to level up, 2 like wheelie boss things to level up a certain skill, and it's insane. I think that system just doesn't need to exist in these games because it kills the gameplay and it kills the momentum of the game. Say you're about to finish leveling up a character and you need to go fight the weekly boss. Oh yeah, I can't go fight the weekly boss because I'm not going to get any rewards because I've used all my rotation this week. That system just doesn't need to exist, and I hate it. I hate it in Genshin, I hate it in Star Rail, I hate it in Wuba, and I hate it in this game. Remove that system for the love of God. But yeah, that's basically the bad for this game. Let me get to my overall thoughts and my review. When it comes to this game, I think this game is a gem. And what I mean by a gem, it's very overlooked and underrated. I think this game is more consistent than the 2 Hoyoverse games, Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, and it's up there with Wandering Ways when it has to certain aspects when it comes to its story. I know some people say they prefer ZZZ over Wuwa, or some people say they prefer Wuwa over ZZZ. Someone that plays both of them, I will say Wuwa has me more like attached because I love the loop of that game and I love the exploration and everything in the game. But this game, the one thing I think this game does slightly better than Wuwa is its gameplay. Because don't get me wrong, Wuba's gameplay is a lot more complex than this game, but still very narrow-minded. This game, it's very... A toddler can play this game and understand how the gameplay works, to be honest. And it doesn't saying that to insult somebody's intelligence, it's saying that because it's more user-friendly. Because Wuba's system, don't get me wrong, it's not overly complex, but there's still some mechanics in the game that do require practice, like the parry system. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't require like fucking 6 hours of practice now, it just requires you to like parry like 3 enemies and then you'll probably get the timing down. But there are some slight things in this game that I do think need changing, like I listed earlier in the bad section. But I think overall this game is good, and I think it is one of the best gacha games out right now. I think this is up there with Wandering Ways for being the best gacha games right now. Do I think it is better than Wuwa? No, because the one thing I did say in the bad thing, but some of the 5-star characters just don't look like they're worth it, in my opinion. Because the one trend I picked up from Wuwa and other action hack and slash titles like this is that I will only pull a character if I think the gameplay is interesting or if it's for me. For example, when Evelyn's still out at the moment, at the time of this recording she's still out, but she looks like a character that I might like, but a character I don't think is worth it, if you know what I mean. Like for example, I've seen Trigger gameplay from the live stream. I think Trigger looks really cool and I want her really badly. But I think Evelyn also looks really good. It's just overall which style of gameplay do I prefer. So yeah, I think that is kind of where kind of the problem in this game is, where some characters don't look as good as like other characters. For example, when Mayuri came out, most characters still do not compare to her. Soldier Zero, when she comes out, has that kind of hack and slash very fast and very dynamic playstyle that she has. So we might be seeing a rise in more fast type of characters when it comes to DPS, which is fine. I have no issue with that, as long as it doesn't break the game. But I think that is fine, but I think some characters do need to make sure they feel like 5-star characters, not 4-star characters. Another thing that I have a slight gripe with is the gacha system in this game. I think 90 summons from 1 5-star is kind of bullshit. I think they should either go to the Honkai Star Rail system, making it 80 pity, or they should just make it so the pity system is actually kind of fair. So I don't like 90 pity systems, if you can't tell. In Wandering Ways, I ain't got that issue, since I usually get my 5-star one, usually like the first 5 temples or something like that. And Honkai Star Rail, I haven't been playing it since Tribute came out, so it's whatever. But yeah, if I had to rate this game would probably land for me in the 8 out of 10 range. Because the only reason I haven't put it in the over 10 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 range is the things I listed are still major stuff I don't like in the game. So I hope that is just either fixed or just touched upon later on in the game cycle, because they do feel like they're kind of a detriment. Making you wait 6 weeks to build a single character is ridiculous. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching this video, and yeah, guys, that's basically it for my review on the game. I think the game's great. I'm looking forward to the next update, and it will be my rotation for gacha games now. Because Star Rail now has taken on the back burner, and this game is basically going to play Star Rail when it comes to back burner, and when it comes to my turn, gacha game. When it comes to content, because I want to get to a content side now, is videos like this, because I did put in my community tab that will only be one video this week, is that when it comes to these review type videos, I really want to put some effort into it and try and do editing styles and stuff, so these videos obviously are going to look different from the other review type of videos, so it might be, they take a bit longer to make. So when it comes to these videos, there might only be one video a week. I'm always on Twitter and the community tab, so if there's only one video a week, I'll either tweet it or put it in the community tab, or if I'm just taking a break, there won't be a video. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week, I don't know what I've got planned next week, but there will be 2 videos next week. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.